Welcome to Queer Coded Country, where Yeehaw meets Yes Queen.
A podcast about growing up in the South and realizing it's pretty darn queer. I'm Hunter Poole.
And I'm Tucker.
So let's catch up. How's your mom and Nim? How's everything going?
Well, we've had a lot to catch up on. We've had Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
I was back to the motherland for Thanksgiving for a full week.
And how was that?
I can report that not a lot was done, but that was okay because I was moving at the pace of life in Arkansas, which is pretty slow, which we appreciate and which we need.
Did you drive any tractors?
I didn't drive any tractors, but I did go out to the farm.
Okay.
Fed our family farm cat, Smokey Lonesome.
A Smokey Lonesome?
Smokey Lonesome,
just
got some quality time
singular
with him.
Farm cat?
Yeah, just a little gray cat that just showed up one day.
Okay.
So went out and fed him. And
that's interesting because we also had barn cats growing up, but we had barn cats. My first cat was Purple Snow Cone. And that's when my parents should have known I was gay.
Right.
But you have Smokey.
Yes.
And so you fed Smokey.
Yep.
And did you go deer hunting and listen to Lady Gaga?
I did not go deer hunting. I did. I was invited, but I decided not to.
I was about to say, because isn't that like a big thing on Thanksgiving? People go deer
it's
hunting.
like a tradition to go down to your deer club and go deer hunting or duck hunting. Duck hunting season, part of the core duck hunting season is during Thanksgiving. So a lot of people's holiday traditions are to come for Thanksgiving and then go duck hunting, kill a bunch of ducks, and then come back to Duck Gumbo.
The Duck Gumbo of it all.
Yeah, the Duck Gumbo cook-off.
Wait a second.
In Arkansas happens.
I think we need to give them. I'm sweating just thinking about Duck.
Yeah.
I think we need to give a moment to Duck Gumbo, and I'm going to let you do that because that is way more your world than mine.
Yep.
So tell us about Duck Gumbo.
So Duck Gumbo is part of the Wings of the Prairie Conservation Festival in Arkansas County. And it is one of the ways, I don't know the full details, but I'm assuming it's some sort of fundraiser.
You just went for the party.
Yeah. But You're
not sure what Wings of the Prairie are, what they're doing.
Exactly. But it's an actual Duck Gumbo cook-off where people have teams and they actually make their own gumbo. But it's held under one tent on a gravel parking lot next to the rice mill. And it is usually rainy, so it's usually muddy and gross. But they pack about as many people as you can in there. COVID restrictions be damned.
Yeah, well, we didn't have COVID restrictions in Arkansas, and also it's a charity.
Yeah, exactly. It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
For the ducks.
It's for the ducks.
It's for the ducks. So, but basically, you just go in and actually vote on the Duck Gumbo. But most of the time, people are there just to drink Bud Light and get totally wasted.
So my perception of Duck Gumbo, I actually never went. You invited me one year, and I couldn't make it work. My perception is just a bunch of frat boys getting fucked up.
That's exactly what it is.
And at one time in my life, I was very turned on by that idea. And now it feels like a very scary place for me to be.
Same. Okay, so I've gone through the emotions with it. The first year I went, I was terrified because I was the only one of my friends that was 21. So I went with some of my a lot older than me family friends that took me, and I was like, oh my God, little gay boy in a very hetero space. And
how many Bud Lights would you say you drank that time?
I remember my mom picked me up because you have to have a DD, and thank God for Sue Aaron. She would pick me up, but we had to pull over on the way back. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about times that we've had to pull over for you to puke, and we're talking about holidays.
Okay.
Shall we talk about New Year's Eve 2013?
Oh God, this is a thing. This must be a thing. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about holidays today, if you can't tell, but
and this wasn't even planned to talk about, but you saying pulling over on the side of the road and puking. I need to tell this one.
Don't give me a special occasion. Okay, is all I'm just gonna say.
So for all of you listeners, readers, viewers, people that are looking at this wherever you're consuming it, TikTok, Tucker came to visit me. 2013, I had moved to Chicago right after college. We were going to do New Year's Eve in Chicago. So you came up to visit. It was the snowpocalypse or whatever they called it.
It was the coldest polar vortex.
A polar vortex, yeah. Science.
Iconic.
The coldest winter that Chicago had seen in a decade. And Chicago's already fucking cold. So Tucker comes. I only had friends that were coworkers at the time because I didn't know anyone. I had just moved. And so me and some of the coworkers, we did table service at this club, which looking back, like us at the club, like table service.
Full on
like
22 years old.
Just
like
literally letting our hair down, honey. And
wearing blazers.
Yeah.
Wearing the business wear.
I think that's the night that like the way that I styled my hair, it looked like I was wearing a toupee.
Oh my God.
I look back at those photos and I was like, oh, it's definitely giving toupee.
Coming out of our like queer coded
Oh,
shells.
That was as gay as I could be. Like I styled my hair, so that was like enough. But like I hit and miss. We'll resurface those pictures. So anyway, we go to this club, and oddly enough, my boss at the time had to be taken out early also. And we were fucked up. I mean, we were just fucked up. And
New Year's.
It was New Year's. Live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
And we were going to get her, from her words, the slammer. Because her Uber took her to the slammer. So we get in a car to go retrieve her. And we're going down Lakeshore Drive in our like $300 Uber which was a lot in 2013.
Sure.
Now,
can you imagine?
Uber prices are surging all the time. That would have been $1,000 to get home. And Tucker's like, Hunter, I need to puke. So I think we're in a minivan, and we stop on the side of the road on Lakeshore Drive for you to just puke your guts up, and then we proceeded to the slammer.
So the moral of the story is I can't have special occasions. I don't do holidays well.
Okay.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh God. Well, it was great. Honestly, I had a lovely time. My mom and dad came here, which I love. That's a new tradition that we started last year. But last year I felt like a lot of pressure to, like make it all perfect or whatever. And this year it was so much more chill vibes. There were 10 of us total, some family and then some friends came, and I'd made us a reservation at Jacob's Pickles, which very proper Southern food in New York. I was like so excited. I get to the fucking host stand, and she's like, oh yeah, party of 10 for outside for Hunter.
Outside?
I was like, wait, outside? Like they still have like the sidewalk tent set up with like little heaters. But I was like, no, pardon me, what do you mean outside? She's like, no, you booked outside. And I was like, why is outside even an option?
No, truly though.
I'm like, we have a 4-year-old. Like, thank God he's a trooper. And then my dad and my mom are just like, I was like normal body temperature. I was like, well, this is a treat for me because I'm always sweating.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, okay, I didn't realize that like outside was an option, and I booked outside, and like, I was like, could we? Like, I'm assuming there's no way. And they're like, no, right out there. And I was like, okay. I mean,
were there heaters?
Yeah, they were weak.
Yeah, they weren't working.
Weak heaters. But I mean, honestly, it just helped us get drunk faster. But no, we had a good time. Yeah. And we laughed, you know, again, family troopers. A mom was here, obviously. She can survive anything. Like, talk about the time. I mean, literally, my mom thrives here.
I'm sure.
And so we had, even before Thanksgiving, whatever, we had such a good time. Like, the way that she was like running shit with the gays at volleyball, like, we were there. We went, so gay volleyball league, we all go to gym bar after you've been there, met up with us. I look over at her at one point when I'm at the bar getting drinks. She's literally got her feet propped on another chair at a high top, feet propped up. She's ripping her vape, blowing it into the corner. And she's just like sat back like this, looking around. And
Get comfy.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this bitch. And I walk over to her and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just looking around to see who's got game and who don't. And I was like, read them.
Read them. And like, I'm sure there was far more that don't than do.
Oh, absolutely. We had such a good time. And another like iconic quote from that evening and from Mom being here, we were just talking about like, I don't know, like wearing dressing up. Like she like always dressed up or whatever. And she said, bitch, I could run in stilettos. She was like, I may be short, but I've always been a badass. And then I was like, and then she said something. She was like, yeah, they used to call me short stack because I had big titties. I was like, okay, mom. So Stacey was here.
Very comfortable.
We decorated the apartment. You got to participate in that madness. I was like level 12 out of 10, cracked out on my Adderall, stressed, thinking that it was never going to come together, barking orders, yelling about the garland.
What were we bringing together?
What?
Tell the people what we were bringing together. What was this masterpiece that we were pulling together? Your holiday party.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, the garland?
Yeah, no. We were pulling together for your annual holiday party. So
annual holiday party, as a proper Southern lady, I love to fucking host. I have a literal champagne wall. I was inspired at a wedding when you walk into the wedding and your table number was on a glass of champagne that was like mounted on a wall.
Yes.
So obviously that was the inspo. I have a champagne wall when you walk in. Everything is decorated. It gets really wild. It literally went until 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Also catered Jacob's Pickles, big Southern treats.
Jacob's Pickles.
Yeah, sponsor us. But yeah, the holiday party, I think it was the biggest crowd.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. I think there were like 75 people that passed through here. Holiday party was good. What else has been going on?
Wicked.
Who can say if I've been changed
for the better?
Wicked happened. That is something that has happened on our little... I mean, the way that I have only been loathing
the whole time.
And listen, I'm an OG Wicked. I loved Wicked. I obviously was a gay in Arkansas that latched on to Wicked like a little leech. But I was blown away.
Yeah, it was so good.
I just literally, and I was going into it expecting to be disappointed because this year has just been really disappointing. And also in many ways.
Anytime someone hypes something up so much, I get a little excited. So then I always have to lower my expectations a little bit.
I wanted to see it before. I wanted to see it on the day that it came out because I also am chronically online.
Yeah.
And in a scroll hole. So I was I'm going to see everything or hype it up. It still blew me away. And I went in this Dolby surround sound theater and I was really stoned.
Enveloped.
And I was jumping. I was literally taken aback the whole time. But it was everything. I knew Cynthia Erivo would be beyond.
Oh my gosh.
I saw her in The Color Purple, changed my life.
Yeah.
Ariana though, who knew?
I know.
Who knew? The bitch blew me away.
She's obviously been an actress for a long time, but it was in when she was much younger, and you can just see how much she's grown and has is a true artist in all the ways.
All of them.
Yeah.
I was so horny for Jonathan Bailey.
Oh my God.
Thank God they made him a little...
Well, I was going to say, what's queer-coded about Wicked and
all of it?
Queer-coded country? All of it. His ass, the costume, and the way they
him riding that horse, honey. Talk about save a horse, ride a cowboy.
And the country part of it is that he's from Winky Country.
Yeah,
and that's country.
Yeah, and that's queer-coded.
Yes.
Save a horse, ride Jonathan Bailey. That's all we need. Insane. No, it was... so good. Did you see it? Do you go by? Who did you see?
I saw it in Arkansas, so that's another thing. This is part of holiday things, going to see a movie with your family and kind of a tradition sort of thing. So we went and did that. Saw it with my parents. Very nice. A lot of connectivity to Pine Bluff Dance Academy and Shuffle Steps.
Shut up.
Because
do you know the choreo already?
I don't know the choreo, but I want to learn. But I did a tap dance to. What is this feeling?
Stop.
The Loathing song.
Stop.
Or I didn't do a tap dance. I wanted to be in it.
Oh, but you didn't make it?
No, I was a background dancer in Dancing Through Life. Yeah. You know that picture that you have of me with my orange pants and an orange shirt?
That's not a...
That's an off Broadway Pine Bluff, Arkansas costume for Wicked. As a Dancing Through Life.
That is not what dancer. I thought that outfit was my whole life. I don't even think I want to say what I thought it was.
Yeah. You thought I was jailbait.
I literally thought you were dressed up in a prison outfit.
No, it was a background dancer for Dancing Through Life.
But why didn't you get to be in What Is This Feeling?
Because my tap skills weren't as advanced at that time, because that was the first year I did.
Oh, okay, so you were amateur.
But I did do a solo dance to Ding Dong the Witch is Dead.
Oh, that's adjacent. And that's wicked adjacent.
Oh, honey, they loved it. And at the you know what was queer coded about that? At the very end of it, he goes, well, I think they said witch. At the end, it's Sammy Davis Jr. And I am posing and I pull up my leg, my pants, and I have a white black and striped sock on. Like who is she?
Oh,
yeah. So a little queer coded dance moment.
Okay, I know I've been sending you a lot of tap dancing and Irish dancing Instagrams. I actually, because of you, I actually want to take tap dancing lessons.
Yeah.
I secretly wanted to tap dance.
Yeah.
I told you about the time that like I got put tuxedo shoes on for the first time when I was like 6, and I thought they were tap shoes. Like, I think that is something I would like to do with you.
Yeah. Absolutely down.
I mean, we literally live in Hell's Kitchen next to Alvin Ailey. I think we can probably find a class or two.
100%. And we can find the original choreo that I wanted to learn.
Okay.
And I feel like it's achievable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We might know it by the next time the next Wicked comes out. But
we'll be ready for the What Is This Feeling tap dance featuring queer-coded country hosts Tucker and Hunter for Wicked Part 2 in 1 year.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so we are talking about holidays or holidays.
Yes.
We are holidays. We are gay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can over-establish that on this podcast. We are gay.
No.
Faggots.
Yes.
Queer. What are they? There's another, I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's actually appropriate to say anymore, like many things from our childhood.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. I'll think on it and then I'll research and see if that was another thing that I need to unlearn. But we're talking about holidays.
Yep. We're talking gifts. We're talking holiday.
We're talking Christmas traditions.
Yep.
We're talking about growing up, what it was like, queerness of it all, going back, whatever. To kick us off though, was there like a gift that you wanted, like little baby queer Tucker really wanted this gift, but like that would have been gay or that would have been like too much?
So I did get a version of this, but what I really wanted was a pink drive yourself Jeep.
Oh,
like a Barbie Jeep.
Yes.
And
oh my God, you would have looked gorgeous in that.
Oh my God. Well, I had a gray one and it was just, very masked, which I loved and rode it till the wheels fell off. But
but it wasn't pink.
No, it wasn't pink, but it was paid off. And so
you are so fucking stupid.
Well, I said I wrote it till the wheels fell off. That's what my parents would say, and that's what I would say about. I'm riding this till the wheels fall off.
Well, I did drive the Pontiac Grand Prix until the wheel flew off going down the highway. So it's like true.
But I wanted a pink Jeep really bad.
Yeah, of course.
But my cousin Alexis got a pink Jeep for her birthday one year, and I was like, "There's a video of me." At her birthday party, and she's like, it comes out and I start jumping and I'm like screaming and squealing and clapping.
You're being gay.
And I'm being gay because I see the pink Jeep being rolled out.
You think it's for you?
Yeah. Because it's my destiny's gift, right? And I'm so excited to see it. And literally there's a video of my parents like holding me back so Alexis can get to it first. And I wanted that damn pink Jeep. So if I could gift myself any gift, it would be a pink Jeep. But if I was gifting it to myself now, it would be like a pink Jeep and we'd be boot scooting around town.
And we would literally pull up to Fire Island in a pink Jeep and be like, we're here.
Exactly.
He didn't get a pink Jeep when he was 10, but look at this fucking Jeep. We showed you.
I know.
And that's on Queer Coded Healing.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to buy a real Jeep and drive it down the highway until the wheels fall off of it.
Say that.
Yeah, when we were talking about this, I couldn't think of like one thing. I had an older sister. So like a lot of stuff I did still get.
Yeah.
Like because I could just use hers or play with hers. But I always wanted like the Barbie heads that you could like do their hair and makeup, like that kind of stuff. But again, because I had an older sister, like a lot of those things we
you were able to play with at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I had a room full of girl toys as well. even though just like I don't believe in Christ.
Yeah.
I was going to say Jesus, but then that was going to contradict that I did say that I thought Jesus was real, but I'm going to say that I don't believe in gender. God, get me off this microphone today. Okay, but before we go into all of it,
yeah,
I did get us a gift.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
And this is something that I wanted so bad for myself the very first time I saw it, and it was #sold-out. And then I got that faithful email and text alert that
it was back in
this
stock.
specific person that I won't reveal yet because everyone will know when you open. It was back in stock, and I was going to order it for myself. And I was like, why would I only get one of these?
Yeah.
I need to get two. So I already know what's in there. So I'm going to take mine.
Okay.
But I want you to open.
Okay. What? Shut up! Oh
so
my
exciting?
God.
Bitch.
Cowboy Carter sashes.
Biz.
Oh my God. I didn't know that these were made.
Oh, I swear to God, premium fucking quality. And the little snap.
Oh my God.
Are you as unwell as I am? Because they came today.
Oh.
They literally came today. And this is, Beyonce doesn't produce non-premium, but look at these.
This
and so
is
now,
crazy.
This is our entire personality, and everything we do will be centered around wearing these sashes.
This is so amazing.
So, Merry Christmas to you.
Oh my God, thank you, hon.
My sister.
Oh my God, this is so good.
And I think we need to put them on.
I think we need to put them on too. Oh my God.
Okay, we're back.
This is
We're
amazing.
dressed. We're in our uniform.
Oh my God.
What if we film every episode for the rest of our lives in these sashes?
In these sashes? I mean, I think we might have to.
I never actually want to take it off.
No,
honestly, it's who I am.
Feeling the power of just knowing there's something draped across my chest and hanging from my side.
It's what we've always wanted. It's what we've always deserved. And it's from an album that literally will have its own dedicated episode sometime, but means so much to me from a woman that means so much to me. One of the very few biological females that I would die for.
Yeah.
So this feels great.
Oh my gosh.
Now, honestly, kind of we're making a costume. This is for, whoa. This is not a costume, but gay Halloween is Christmas. And now, blah, blah, connecting the dots in this brain that's really working overtime today. Okay. But back to the holidays of it all. What were the holiday movies and stuff? Were you all big movies family? What were you watching during the holidays?
Yes, big holiday movie people. I literally loved The Santa Claus so much.
Yes. Tim Allen.
We were just talking about it before this. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something. I don't even know if it's actually queer coded. It's probably just not. Probably just something I love.
You were probably just horny.
Yeah, for Tim Allen. And that's weird.
And Bernard.
Yes. He was so helpful.
Bernard, he was so helpful. Is that your kink? Helpful?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's me. God.
Also, it was just it took us to another place. Talking
Magical.
About magic. Yeah. Believe in magic.
Yeah.
Wait, did you believe in Santa Claus? Did you have?
I did for sure believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Up into a point.
Well, everyone does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about earlier, what was the moment that your life was
I actually
shattered?
don't remember.
Yeah.
I probably blocked that out. It was probably some associated with some gay trauma. I don't remember. But then when we started taking care of my cousin, who we adopted as my brother, he was 2 years old. And so I got to relive the Santa Claus of it all again. So that was really fun. But
it's really cute when they're really young.
Oh my God,
believe.
the magic.
And I was a believer. Then when I did find out, I kind of knew it wasn't real.
You knew. But you're too smart for that.
Yeah, too smart, but also wanted to have a moment. So I remember when my parents told me, my Christmas list was pinned on the fridge, and I remember having a dramatic moment where I scoffed and looked at the list and then pushed the refrigerator and then ran in my bedroom because I was a drama queen.
Because you were
GAY.
Gay.
But yeah,
my God.
I wanted to have a full on
you were pissed.
Drama.
Yeah. Our family, as everyone will learn during this episode, we're all a little unhinged. We were the Christmas Vacation family. That was our movie.
Yes, same here.
We can quote it start to finish. But then later in life, I became a Four Christmases stan.
Okay.
Well, let's just start. Reese Witherspoon, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
Kristen Chenoweth, who is literally popping up in all these Christmas movies all the time. And Wicked, obviously, duh. It is, I swear, I need to look this up. Queer coded research. I think it had to have been written by a gay man because obviously the premise is that they lie to their family every year and they go somewhere on a trip instead of going to see the family. And there's just one line that just like gets me every time. They're like talking at a bar with some of their friends and like, well, I'm going to, it's like, I don't even remember the town. It's like upstate New York. Yeah. That's how, shit it is. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to sit with my like nephews and hear about whatever. And then they say that they're going on a trip and they're like, well, do you not feel guilty for not seeing the family? And Reese Witherspoon, like with absolute certainty says, feel guilty for taking a vacation during our vacation? Absolutely not. And like, that's queer coded. It's like, fuck the madness, fuck the trauma, fuck all of that. I'm going on a trip.
Period, Reese.
Yeah. And back to Kristen in all of these holiday movies, like Kristen Chenoweth.
I mean,
queer coded icon.
A Southern icon.
She is as Southern as they come.
Oh, thank God for her.
Also, Lindsay Lohan being the queen of Christmas.
I just watched that last night.
Bitch.
Our Little Secret movie.
She does no wrong.
Yeah.
I want whoever is doing her comeback and her face work, I need the number because she looks incredible.
I know.
But also, like, you know what I love the most around Christmas time?
Say it.
The Berkshires.
Oh my God.
The Berkshires.
Damn it.
That's my holiday spirit.
That is like the perfect way to put that and like encapsulate everything that we like love together. And that's not a movie, but it might as well be.
It's a vibe. It's a feeling.
Yes.
It's everything that you could ever want. Talk about hosting, bitch.
Yep.
That's where my inspiration comes from. You think I whip this house together with the Berkshires in mind, Bluestone Manor, baby? I've got the whiskey on the bar.
Yes.
Dorinda is my inspo.
She's here.
I am Dorinda when my party is happening. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm making it nice. I'm not cooking.
Your doormat says so.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But like the Berkshires. But let's like throw it back a little bit. Like what was the vibe of your like holiday traditions and like growing up when you were a little gay?
Very classic holidays. Like Thanksgiving, we're like doing like the big family meal. It's like the most extended family. It's the turkey dinner. It's all of that. It's the readings at the dinner.
Wait, what? Reading what?
Well,
each other?
Yeah, I wish that should be the new tradition. But no, like doing like some sort of like reading from scripture about like gratefulness,
they are
gratitude.
Love this episode from my perspective, aren't they?
So that, or just like a poem about
a poem
gratefulness.
Is cute.
Yes. So usually something like that was going on. I have more on this. Well, actually, this was a tradition for me growing up, being a little queer kid, is being the director of all of the performances that we were putting on. Because if there was a room full of people, we're doing a performance, mama.
Okay, wait.
Show starts in 30 minutes and Tucker is directing.
But wait, your family was doing performances?
No, me, and I'm gathering the cousins. And I'm like, all right.
Oh my God.
The cousins, the friends. I'm like, whatever event during the holidays is, I'm like, there's a room of people. You're going over here. You're going over here. Let's do it. It's basically SNL. I'm running SNL during the holidays because I'm like doing like a skit for my family. One year I remember in particular.
You were writing and producing skits for your family as a little gay kid in Arkansas 100%. After the scripture readings. And that is why I fucking love you.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That is why I love you.
Exactly.
And that is why I love you.
So we would do that like even during like other holiday events with like family friends and stuff where there were like more kids my age. Mm-hmm. I remember one year in particular, it was like a holiday party. You know, the adults are drinking. They just want to like have fun and hang out.
Yeah.
I'm like running around. I'm producing this event and I'm like, okay, y'all, in 15 minutes we're on and everybody better be in the goddamn living room. And so we're doing it. I remember there was one year that we did a glitter. Speaking of Mariah Carey, this is why I should have said Mariah Carey.
You can change.
Yeah.
I've got Kelly.
We did a glitter-themed Christmas production. And it was a whole full-out thing. And then we did like 5 minutes of it. And I was like, okay, intermission, because it was a proper show.
Off,
and of course,
Broadway.
No one came back for the second part of the intermission.
They were drunk.
Yeah. So that was my little holiday, my like only gay holiday tradition that I was doing.
Oh my God.
For myself.
That is, first of all,
yeah.
Applause.
Thank you.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
Mine was not traditional
Yeah.
in that sense. I will say my grandfather and my grandmother were very religious and my grandmother passed, rest her soul, loved her. One year I got her blackout drunk and
what a tradition.
Well, no. Okay. So like to get there, that is part of it. So my family, we're all unhinged. We're all very dysfunctional, but we're all a lot of fun. And so our Christmas Eve tradition, my mom would do like make a bunch of Mexican food. And that was really just because we wanted to also have margaritas.
Oh God, that sounds good.
So we would just get absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
And one year, so my grandfather is like 13 years younger than my grandmother. And was her third husband or third. Can't keep up. And, but he was the grandfather that I knew growing up and he's 13 years younger. He was like this sexy military man that she snatched up. I think he was like the neighbor and like also the babysitter. It's a scandal that we will really unpack at some time. But she was hammered and I was like, Meemaw, how did you get Papa? Like, you really, were shooting above your weight right there, honey. Like, just messing with her because we were like besties. Yeah. We were like each other and she was passed out with her head down on the table. And she lifted her head up and she said, "'Cause I was a sexy son of a bitch back then." And then like head falls back onto the table.
And I feel like in a way that is very like Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah.
Like could be for sure. Could be a deleted scene.
You met Meemaw probably at my graduation and Papa who bought us all shots at.
Well, I feel like I wasn't there for this, but I came when that year I went to Chicago, I came to your house the night before in Arkansas. And I feel like y'all were doing some sort of thing that I was kind of like there for, like a family thing. There were margaritas involved. I remember.
So we were like really wild on Christmas Eve. Not very traditional, but my grandfather we're always going to bless the food.
Yeah.
And I remember one year I had too many margaritas and he was like, "Who wants to say the blessing?" And I was like, "I will."
Oh no.
And I prayed to Beyonce.
And how did that go over?
I don't think he was very thrilled. I don't think he thought it was funny, but definitely. But like Christmas Eve was always a mess. But Christmas Day, okay, so my mom, obviously we've talked about her. She decorated this entire place. She was like Christmas queen.
Yeah.
Our house was decorated to the nines. We had equal number of presents. Me, my brother, and my sister, the same exact. If she had to wrap a pair of socks to make everyone equal presents, we did. We had a wrapping paper theme every year, and each of us had our own wrapping paper. So we never had name tags on presents. It was categorized by what wrapping paper it was. And we would take one each
cute.
And we would open it at the same time. And then we would pass it over and then we would grab another.
And
then so like, it was a very, very type A Christmas. And then the stuff under the tree was always from mom and dad. But then the stuff that was out was from Santa. And that would be like the fun stuff. So that's like when I was a kid. That's why I loved Christmas Day, because I knew what was under the tree was always going to be clothes. I never had to shake it and try to figure it out. But all of the surprises that were from Santa would be like laid out in the floor. And she went over the top. I realized later in life, and I've even said this to her now, I'm like, y'all were ridiculous for Christmas. And I mean, obviously I loved it. It was so amazing. But it is so over the top. And like, that's why this is all over the top of the apartment. But it was like very much like my fondest memories were like Christmas morning. And my grandfather would always make us breakfast and we would just literally spend the day like playing in the house or whatever.
Playing with your gifts.
Yeah. So that was like that was the big thing. But again, everything in my family really centers around getting lit. Honestly.
That's fellowship. Is what that is.
And so that's Christianity.
And so you are a Christian, Hunter.
Once again, finding out on this podcast in this moment that
Gooped, gagged, and bewildered.
Kelly Clarkson and margaritas have brought me to the light. And that is, I'm somewhat
coded.
I'm somewhat having a rebirth, But yeah, I mean, and honestly, the stories that I have from Christmas, like some of the craziest things, like we always had like extra people, bonus roommates is what I called them. We were always had some strays in our house, like, you know, aunts, uncles, whoever, that would like be living with us. And so like it was always a little extra wild. I remember one year my dad's like best friend from high school, I guess, had been like kicked out of the house, and like it was like a whole thing. And he was living with us and had to go to the hospital on Christmas Eve to the ER. I still don't really know what happened. And so my dad took him to the ER because he was living with us at the time. And so we started drinking that Christmas Eve around like 2:00. And we got so blackout that we couldn't, my mom and I forgot to finish cooking dinner.
Oh, no.
We couldn't even cook dinner. And then like mom and I were like, this is when I was older.
Yeah.
And so like we were playing Santa for my brother, but we were like too drunk to play Santa.
Oh no.
Like it was always crazy. One year my sister chipped her tooth, like her tooth came out on Christmas Eve.
Tooth.
And so we were like going on an emergency visit to the dentist to try to put the tooth back in because she was like missing part of her tooth.
Insane.
And when we got in the car, and this was a good one. When we got in the car and my sister is like freaking out, panicking because her tooth is missing, I'm sitting in the front seat and I plugged the aux cord in and I turned the volume up as loud as I could. And I played All I Want for Christmas is my two front teeth. My two front teeth. And I like took a margarita into the dentist's office and I was hammered. And the dentist was like, I don't know if you should have that in here. I'm like, whatever. This fucking place is closed. Like, what are you mad about?
The health code isn't a matter.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, Christmas always gets wild. One year in 2016, or maybe, yeah, it would have been 2016. Or maybe that would have, I don't think that I don't know if it was a holiday. I don't know if it was a holiday or not. But my mom and I drove around the neighborhood and took all of the Trump signs down and burned them in the fireplace.
That sounds like, okay, so
like we get really wild.
That sounds like something that I was doing when I was in high school, which was...
You were underage drinking?
No, I was not. No, but I was...
Me?
I was doing some low lift crime, which was going around to neighbors that had light up reindeer and fixing the deer so that they were like humping each other.
Yeah, that was a big thing in the South.
Yes, we loved doing that.
Oh yeah,
and like looking back, how bro is that of me?
It's bro and gay because they were barebacking.
Yeah, and it was $2.
Whoa!
Sorry, bringing in my dear
is
culture.
Queer coded.
I was sending a subtle message.
Yeah.
A subtle message.
The fact that I planned an absolute banger of a skit and threw a fit that Santa Claus isn't real, that's not the message I was sending to tell you I'm gay. But the humping bucks, it was the humping bucks that was the message that I wanted to send. Wait, what's like the worst gift you ever got? Have you ever gotten a bad gift that you remember?
But I'm going to tell you what the best gift I ever got was. This is part, this is also very queer coded. So, and this might be Mandela effect. Like, I actually don't know if this happened because I recently recounted this story to my parents and they were like, what? So like, it could have been, if I'm like somehow psychically stealing someone else's story or I saw this on Lifetime movie or something like that, like, please stop me. But I remember one Christmas, and I don't remember if it was like actually on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or something, or like, I don't know. But I remember there was a knock at the door and there was somebody dressed as Santa and was like, ho, 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 I like forgot a present. And it was from in the mail and it was like a mail package. And so I opened it up and it was the VHS tape of Cats on Broadway. Like, I'm not fucking kidding you. I had the VHS. And talk about something I wrote the wheels off of was the wheels of the VHS tape because I could not watch it enough times. But
what's your favorite song?
A core Christmas memory is having Santa bring me Cats on Broadway as a gift that he forgot.
But that's what you picked, or like your parents?
I asked for it on my Christmas list, but it didn't show up.
It didn't show up, and Santa brought it.
And so I actually don't remember if it was like on Christmas Day because I feel like the mail on Christmas Day is kind of crazy unless it was like a family member that dressed up.
Oh, it actually physically didn't come in time. And so then your parents were like, oh, we're going to have a Santa come and bring this.
But they don't remember it, which is the funny part. Maybe they're blocking it out that they gave me a Broadway musical for Christmas.
Cats. I mean, God, Tucker,
Wicked just edged out. Cats is my favorite musical, let's be clear.
I don't know who's more gay. Like our whole friendship, I've thought it was me.
Yeah.
And
I know.
You are gay.
I know.
When you're gay, you're gay.
Yeah.
But it was a nice treat. It moved to the city and now he's gay. Oh my God. Okay.
So that wasn't my worst gift, but it's the most memorable gift. So I took your question and flipped it.
No, I love that. I think the best gift I ever got, I remember so Santa came also and it was like, go to the barn.
Yeah.
And my gift was in the barn and it was like a small 4-wheeler. It was like my first 4-wheeler. And it was really small. And I mean, I might as well have gotten the pink Jeep. Like that's how I felt. Yes. And actually the seat of this 4-wheeler was purple and it had like purple and teal, like Yamaha? No, that was
there's
the
a
yellow
Yamaha
one.
And then there's Kawasaki.
Okay, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get this 4-wheeler. I'm living and I'm driving
I love a 4-wheeler.
I fucking love a 4-wheeler. And I am driving it around that night. First night I got it, ran straight into the light pole, dented the front of it, wrecked it the first night.
Stop.
Christmas night that I got it. My cousin Whitney was on the back. Bam! Right into the light pole. Luckily, it was still drivable after that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was the best. One year, and I don't hold this against her because I famously hate kids and like am totally uninterested. And I shouldn't set that up as if she hates us, but my grandmother, not Meemaw, my Grammy, she's an icon and she's very like, has a very similar personality to me. But one year she was supposed to come for Christmas and I guess she got there and we weren't awake yet. And so she left our Christmas presents on the doorstep with a note and was like, y'all weren't up. So I left, which is like totally me when it comes to kids. Like, I don't fucking care.
I love that.
But we opened them and it was fucking footy pajamas. So not only were they left on the doorstep and she bounced, but it was literally footy pajamas.
That is so funny. That's like a Christmas tradition in itself, though.
Yeah. No, I forgive her and I love her. What is it like now? I mean, you just said that you were back, but like, what does it feel like going back into those traditions?
It's it feels like honestly like really good and like comforting. Like there are things I look forward to. A lot. Like one of our traditions is going to the candlelight service at church the night before, and it's like very special. And so I still love doing.
Feels like home.
It feels like home. But like at the same time, like it does feel weird because you're in like the church and you're with like, you know, like you're not quite sure how everyone might feel about you or know about you or whatnot. So it sometimes feels like a comfortable space because you're with your family and they protect you, but also an uncomfortable space because of how some people make it.
Right.
But outside of that, I now feel more comfortable sitting with the women after the meal. Yeah. Like when I was a kid, I always would go play with the kids. And then when you get older, you're like, okay, I guess all the guys went in the room and watched football and the women are in there gossiping with their coffee. And I'd rather much be hearing what Shelly has to say than whatever's going on with Cowboys.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure, right? It's like you don't know certain things like growing up queer and things that we had like armor against back then, and we like were really conditioned to deal with them and really knew how to deal with them. And then you almost remove yourself from it and you go and you find who you are and you build this life and you build these communities and you get into almost a bubble similar to the bubble that we were in growing up, but it's a different bubble, right? And you forget. And I have physical reactions when I walk into some spaces. Like recently for a funeral, was back at the church that I went to growing up. And like when I walked in, I like had a physical reaction that I wasn't expecting. I like knew that it would bring things back. But like, I mean, for me to like, you know, again, my family is unhinged. My family, we're fun. We drink a lot. We have a good time. But I actually don't really go back. Like it doesn't feel the same anymore. Like mom and dad have started coming here and I love that. I haven't gone home for Christmas in a while. I got to a point, and I'm lucky that I've been able to have these conversations with my mom and dad, and they like really meet me where I'm at and see it. But for me, a lot of times going home, and especially during the holidays when everyone is there, I just always kind of felt like, I spent a lot of my life catering to being, as gay as everyone around me and my family was comfortable with me being.
Yeah.
And not really fully being myself. And then I feel like as I started to break down some of that, like, being my, more authentic, or being, more, who I truly am, saying the things, wearing the things that I want to wear, having my nails painted, whatever. It was like I was under a microscope. And I'll give my family the credit that, like, I don't even think that they have thought about some of the things that they're doing causing harm.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I felt like I would walk in and feel like an alien.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, well, what are you wearing? Or you're wearing this, or you're doing this, or you're saying that, or you're talking this way. And it was like I was just constantly on the defense, and everything was critiqued, and everything I said. And if I said fuck, which I say all the time, it's like, wow, watch your mouth, watch your language. Yeah. There are kids around. And I'm like, yeah, there are kids around. And we all were raised by the same fucking people. You think they're not going to hear, And so it just became this thing where it was like, I stopped catering to their comfort. Yeah. And then the critiques and the comments and whatever, it just became too much. Yeah. And like, I remember that was the way that I was able to frame it to my dad, that he understood. I was like, imagine if you came into this family environment where there are potentially 20 people and everyone has something to say about your hair or your nails or what you're wearing or how you're talking or whatever. And even if they mean it in a harmless way, I left this place to get away from that feeling.
Yeah.
And there's something about it when it happens in your hometown. Yeah. Like I can be called a nasty, disgusting, faggot, piss pig, piece of shit at a bar in New York. And I'll be like, hell yeah, I am. Yes, I am, honey. Exactly. Like, and like doesn't affect me.
Right.
But going home and being back in the house that I was raised in and being back around the people, it really, really fucks with you. And I remember one year I was home, and this is a very vulnerable thing for me to talk about. Like it took me, I didn't even admit it in therapy for like 6 months, but my nephew and my cousins, all boys, were upstairs, and I was like walking through the living room upstairs, and like, they called me a girly girl. They were like, oh, look at you, girly girl.
Yeah. And
it was really hard. I'm like getting emotional thinking about it. And again, like, and in the moment I was like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Like, like I didn't want to show. And then I went to my bedroom and I cried because my room also was still like a shrine to me. Like I was still the same colors. It was still all the same things. And it just felt so heavy because it was like, I worked so hard to like not let these things affect me. And it's a complex emotion to deal with because like, I don't want to be mad at these, preteen, whatever. Like, it just felt weird. I still don't know how I feel about it. I still don't really know how to process it. It's still something that really like hit me in a way that I didn't expect. But, it's like you're back in that mindset. And I'm like, wait, are we in this cycle again? Are we in this, like there are so many queer people in my family. And like, are we just, is that the vibe? Like, we're going to like make fun of like femininity and whatever. And like, again, it's like weird because it's like, again, I teeter this line of like, how do I respond to that? Do I have a conversation? Like, it's just, I can't even probably finish talking about it, but it's just a really hard thing to sit with and think about when it's like the next generation, and then you're like already feeling like you're under a microscope and you have this support, and there hasn't been any real rejection of my sexuality by any means, but then there also hasn't really been any changes in mentality of how we treat that or how we talk about it or how we, you know, and so it's like that became a lot for me and still is. And so I haven't really gone back in a while, which is also a symptom of some other larger things that we'll go into at some point. But it's complex because it was like the most fond memories that I have, but it just doesn't feel the same. But I think part of the queer experience, like I actually left therapy this week after Thanksgiving with my family here. And I said, I was like, Thanksgiving used to be like the start of my seasonal depression. And it used to be the exhaustion mentally that sent me into the spiral that I would live in through the rest of the year. And I left so fulfilled this year because I was with my family, my mom and dad, who I adore and am so close with. But then I have my chosen family with me and I've formed these new traditions and I have these new experiences, and I felt so fulfilled and loved and celebrated. And it was really nice. And I took us on a little dark turn.
No, it's not a dark turn, but I guess what I'm taking from it is how beautiful it is to be able to compare the experience of going back and like getting back into the same old routine and the same old environment that you grew up in, but to now also like be in a place where you're so comfortable and love yourself and you have your chosen family who loves you and you get to bring your family into that and then experience
it's the opposite, right?
And that they get to experience that and see how normal it is and how normal it should be and how it's so difficult to pull that out and place it back into the environment you grew up in. But like you've got like your own new tradition that you can like look back on fondly. And
and as you're saying that, I'm thinking about this and like, you know, there are probably times, not for my mom, the bitch comes here and she's thriving and she fits right in and she's one of the girls, one of the gays, one of the theys, like she's in it. But for my dad, you know, I do expose him to a lot when he's here. I mean, the artwork in my house alone is just dicks everywhere. And there are probably moments where he feels in my world the way that I feel there. And I'm thinking about that now, and it's like really special to me. And I'm going to get emotional again, but really special to me that like, you know, he still shows up and like does that for me and like wants to see it. You know, he may not always feel comfortable in it. But he wants to be here. And it's so funny because when we leave anything that my friends are at, like my mom and dad will like go hug everyone and be like, thanks for loving my son. Thanks for being, you know, thanks for being his family. And it's like really special. That's So it's an evolution, right? And I still have obviously so many fond memories. And I think I'll go back eventually. I'm in a different place now. There's a lot happening. But
I understand though, like going back, like even I experience that all the time now, like with like family that like were really young when I was like coming out and like experience like not knowing how to to your point about like your nephew, like not necessarily knowing how to navigate scenarios because
I
you're
mean,
not the parent.
But also they're in the like the thing is like they're in the same small fucking town that we were in.
Right.
And so not like that's more what it is like, well, clearly not much has changed.
Right.
Like that's the message I think that I was not eloquently saying earlier is that like what I felt in that moment was that like, here I am back and like clearly nothing has changed because this feels no different than it was when I was their age.
Right. And it's fucking tough. I'm just going to say that like, I am so happy and proud for people who truly do shift and like live authentically in spaces that don't traditionally like favor that and like push the boundaries and don't care. And we need those people. And I wish I was more of that type of person because I'm not a status quo shaker by any means. But like it's fucking tough. And like I know I don't feel alone. Like when I go home, like I still feel very comfortable to be myself, but then there are also like definitely parts that I like don't
you shut them back off.
Don't feel comfortable sharing, or like going back and doing a particular thing like makes me feel 13 again.
Physically, it physically manifests in my body.
It makes me
which is so crazy.
Yeah, it just I know what you mean. Like I can't describe it, but it just feels so, I don't know what it is, but anxiety presenting in a physical way. But
yeah. And that'll be $300 for this session.
Exactly. But a new like talking about this for Thanksgiving one year, I brought a boy home. And I
know the boy.
It was the experience was, I mean, he's an ex now, but like,
he
unfortunately, fortunately, it brought on like a really good shift in the dynamic of my family and my queerness and my gayness. Like it forced me to come out to people that I had not yet already been out to and force a conversation. And even though we maybe don't talk about it a ton or as much as we should as a wide family within my.
Yeah. Well, there are too many of wide family to be really going.
Exactly.
We can't go that deep with everyone. They need to figure it out.
But like such a good push, but also like need more pushes like that, but don't need to fit. I need to like figure out the other ways to like push those boundaries a little bit more beyond just a partner.
Yeah.
But like that is like the most like obvious presentation.
Yeah.
When it comes to the families, this is my roommate. This is my friend.
Yeah.
Except it was totally like, this is my boyfriend.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. But speaking of boyfriends and speaking of holidays.
Yeah.
Did you have like hometown hookups? Like,
yes.
'Tis the damn season. 'Tis the damn season vibes. Okay. Well, okay. I want to know about them. Are they like regulars?
No, they're not regulars.
Like, give me the DeWitt home for the holidays tea.
So I only have had one holiday hookup.
Okay.
And it was years ago. But it did technically happen on Christmas Eve. That's
why it's your favorite.
Yeah. So my holiday,
this man,
my one and only is my favorite. But no, it was like Christmas Eve, and I was on the grid chatting to the person, not the closest person, but I don't remember. The closest person I'm going to tell you is like 20 miles away.
Oh yeah,
and DeWitt is not close.
Yeah.
And so it's late. I sneak out. And I take my car and I go meet this guy down a gravel road.
We love a gravel road.
Down a gravel road. And we park our cars. He gets into my car and we have a little a car hookup. But
in the Maxima?
In the Maxima. So it wasn't comfortable. So it was not comfortable. But yeah, so that's my little story. It's not like that shocking, but it is funny. Like I honestly don't remember his name.
Oh, well, I don't remember half the people I slept with last week's name. The funny thing about the grinder grid, though, we need to really speak on the grinder grid in small towns. In New York, specifically in Hell's Kitchen, like the furthest net I can cast is like 3,000 feet away. Yes. I go home to Jonesboro, Bono, and like I'm picking up men in Memphis.
Exactly.
It's like 75 miles away. And I'm like, damn, this has some rain.
No, that's why I'm like, I literally like when you see the like grid in like more a more populous city, like you're like, oh, I can like kind of generally figure out like where this person is directionally. Yeah, exactly. But I'm like 52 miles away. Where the hell are you?
That could be anywhere.
Exactly.
Bitch.
Are you in Mississippi or what?
Yeah. Oh, honey. Okay, so I go home and I'm fucking feral. And I think that's probably the trauma and the stress makes me the horniest I've ever been. I don't know what it is. So I have a lot. I got a lot of stories and I'm not proud of them all. But you know, because in Jonesboro though, I mean, I have a selection.
Yeah.
It's not like one person. I remember one time I was talking to this faceless profile and it was an older man and he kind of looked like this deacon at my church. And I wasn't positive if it was him or not, but I was for the story, I was willing to do this.
Yes.
And so I met him in the parking lot of the Ron's Catfish Buffet. And he sucked my dick in the back of his like mom Suburban with a car seat.
Oh, God.
in there.
No.
Yeah. And so he sucked my dick at Ron's Catfish Buffet.
You need that on a t-shirt. I went to Ron's Catfish Cafe and got my dick sucked. And all I got was my dick sucked.
He gets his dick sucked at the roundup. It's like, yeah, I went to Ron's Catfish Buffet and all I got was my dick sucked. And a hush puppy, honey. No, I was the hush puppy because I couldn't out this married man.
Say that.
Also, another, a classic hunter. This is a mini hookups. So the way that my house, it's like the house is here, like in the middle, but then off to the side is the barn. And then on the opposite side of the house from the barn is the horse trailer.
Uh-huh.
And you can pass my main driveway and keep driving around a curve and go up. And there are like 2 other houses up there. But we also have a circle drive where you pull the trailer in. So I would have men drive around past the driveway like they're going to the other houses, pull into the circle drive, and then we would fuck in the horse trailer while my family was just inside.
Yes.
Because I couldn't wait like all night for everyone to go to bed. My family is up late. So I was like literally bringing men, fucking them in the horse trailer, and then like pretending I was like going outside for a phone call or like to have a drink or get some air.
Oh my God.
I had a threesome once in the hot tub behind our house, and my mom and dad's bedroom was right in like, it was like their bedroom windows looked out over the hot tub. And I had the grand idea that like it was 2 random people that were also home visiting. So they must have also been on their feral journey. So I convinced them to have a threesome. I'm like, yeah, we can get in the hot tub. Well, my fucking parents had their blinds open. So, and the TV was on.
Were they in their room?
No, they were in there sleeping. They both take Ambien. I knew they were passed out. Gone. I was like, oh, trust me, boys. They're not waking up for 8 hours. And so literally I have a threesome in the hot tub outside my parents' bedroom window with the windows open and the TV on.
And that's why we call it Happy Holidays.
Yeah. I mean, and also just in general, I mean, those are probably the most fun stories, but like also like I'm like a New York 2 to 3. I'm like a Bono 15.
Okay.
So there is this one guy that I've hooked up with a few times. He doesn't live there anymore, unfortunately. He's probably the hottest man. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like now a bodybuilder. I mean, honey, and he is hung.
Oh my God.
He's hung like the horses in the barn, baby. I mean, huge. So
stop. Oh my God.
That's my favorite.
That's so
I don't
good.
know his name either, though. I follow him on Instagram, but I don't know.
I know his reveal.
I know his Instagram handle, but I don't know his name. I'm on his close friends, honey.
I know. I kind of think that like eventually me and the guy like reconnected another holiday later. But we never like actually did anything about it. So like I haven't done anything since then because I'm also
yeah, I'm busy when I'm back.
I'm busy.
And yeah, I'm medicated now. I'm on Prozac, so like I'm not as horny when I go.
Right.
But you know, I think the message here is that holidays back home for queer people can be really scary.
They can.
And they can be really uncomfortable. And they can be very complex. And they can bring up a lot of emotion and make people feel a lot of ways, but you also might get fucked in a horse trailer, and that can be fun. Or the Ron's Catfish. The Ron's Catfish is probably, that's a good one.
That's iconic. Or down a gravel road.
Gravel road.
And freaking out every time you saw headlights go down.
Oh, honey, flash.
Oh, my gosh.
Like think it was the police or someone checking on their farm.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would have been, yeah.
So we saw 2 random cars out by your farm.
Oh, there were random cars out. Tucker's Maximo was out on our farm with another man.
But tell you what, thank God it never happened because what would that have turned into?
Well, they would have known you. They would have known exactly who you were, exactly who. So, but yeah, no, I think that, you know, you just got to do the most you can with what you got. And sometimes that's not a lot.
I will say, this is reminding me of a Casey Musgrave song.
Oh, please.
I can't remember if I think it's Sometimes Christmas Makes Me Cry. And it's one of my favorite Christmas songs. And she's basically talking about like how exciting the holiday times are, but like there is something sometimes about that Christmas makes you cry. And like, and I think that's why I like Christmas Eve more than I like Christmas Day, because there's so much anticipation that builds up to Christmas Day, and then it comes and it goes. Yeah. And it feels like,
God, of course, Case, I'm so glad you reminded me of that, because I fucking love that song. And of course she wrote about what we feel when we go to our hometown, because she gets us. Yes. She sees us.
Well, and for people like queer people especially, like sometimes holidays aren't a great
they're not
memory for some people, especially a lot of people that don't have connections with their family.
And some people don't even have the option to go home anymore. And how fucked up is that?
Exactly.
But I think the message for me to people listening, like, yeah, Christmas sometimes makes you cry. But I think that, like, you know, I was pretty devastated when the tradition started to break.
Yeah.
But now I see my own traditions with my own family.
Yeah.
Both blood and chosen. And it feels so good. And how lucky are we that we have each other and have these people that we can celebrate with. And I think if you're listening and you're raising a queer kid and or maybe you don't know, I think it's easy for all of us to think that everyone is experiencing the traditions the same.
Yeah.
And everyone experiences the family connections the same. And everyone experiences, you know, what you want them to, or what you want the holidays to mean. But it's not always the case. And I think if we could all be more cognizant of that, and, you know, not always make the queer person be the one that's adapting, you know, fucking adapt to them.
Exactly. Give them you both have room to grow, and both room to change your own traditions in order to make other people that you love feel warm.
Welcome. And with that, I think it's time for From Yeehaw to Yes Queen, our favorite game that we do play, where we will recap. Well, not recap.
Yeah, it's kind of like a recap.
It's kind of like a recap, but our lovely producer, Sammy, will flash things on the screen that we have talked about, and we will rate them from Yeehaw to Yes Queen, because that's what our podcast is all about.
Let's do it.
All right. What's the first one?
Duck Gumbo.
Oh, God.
It's Yeehaw. I wish it was Yes Queen, but it's, I mean, well, not that Yeehaw is bad, but it is just full Yeehaw.
Yeah, it is 100% Yeehaw.
It's Yeehaw because, well, the queers are taking camo back, and
the queers are taking camo back.
They are taking camo, but you can find plenty of it there. But it's Yeehaw because there is lots of mudslinging.
Oh, and drinking,
gumbo cooking,
boot scooting, and boogieing. I mean, listen, I have slept with a few men who I know have been to Duck Gumbo.
Yeah.
So there's like a little baby bit of Yes Queen, but no, it is absolute Yeehaw, 100%.
Yep. Santa Claus. We didn't really even get into this.
We didn't get into the Santa Claus of it all. I mean, I'd fuck him.
Yeah, so therefore, I said that doesn't answer the question.
I mean, he's kind of hot, daddy. Sit on his lap, tell him what you want,
honey. I think it's Yes Queen.
It's Yes Queen.
It's Yes Queen.
I definitely think it's Yes Queen. I mean, he doesn't really exist. He's kind of this mythical thing that we all fantasize about. Yep. That's very gay.
Yes.
Like, let's create this version of something that we want that like brings us treats.
Yes, like it's a man we all dream about.
Bitch.
Like, it's the man we all dream about.
He comes down your chimney and eats your cookie.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, bitch, this is serious. Yes Queen.
For
honey.
Sure. And like just the sleigh of it all with like the
literal sleigh
of it all.
Oh, yeah. And those fucking reindeer are faggots.
Oh, yes.
Donner and Dancer and Blitzer. Oh, bitch.
He has a gaggle of gays.
He has a gaggle of gays that all went to Shuffle Steps in Pine Bluff that carry his ass around.
The original
and
tap
he's
dancers.
Got a bag, which reminds me another Christmas song that I love, Matt Rogers' Lube for the Sleigh.
Yes.
Like, literally, okay, Santa Claus, yes Queen all the way. Four-wheelers.
Oh no.
That's hard because I've had sex on a four-wheeler and that makes
That's hard. Talk about hard. That's difficult.
It was Yes Queen when I was
So it's Yes Queen. Oh God, I love four-wheelers.
There is literally
nothing.
They're Yes Queen because we love them.
Yes.
But also they're very yeehaw. I mean, that's how you get around the farm.
I think it's a yeehaw.
I think it's a yeehaw, but I also think it can be very yes queen because don't forget, mine had a purple seat.
Oh yeah, you did have a purple seat. Man, I loved mine. Just
hitting,
hitting that,
and you could like do donuts because I lived on a gravel road.
Yeah.
So like someone came to my house the other night that is from Walnut Ridge.
Yeah.
And I know him through like friends of friends. And John was here and we were talking about four-wheelers. And the context that the guy gave of how close Walnut Ridge was to Bono or whatever, he's like, yeah, he could probably ride a four-wheeler to my place. And I was like, yes. Yeah. So I think it's heavy yeehaw.
Heavy yeehaw.
But it's a little yes queen. It's cunty to be on.
Oh my God.
On a four-wheeler.
If I could have a four-wheeler up here, honey,
we need
would be
one
so
in
much
Fire
fun.
Island.
You know how people just like go up and down on like motorcycles?
Those are so
stuff?
scary.
Should we start a gay ATV gang?
No. Because driving in Manhattan is scary enough in a car.
Okay, fine.
But it was a good thought.
Okay.
Hot tubs.
They're yes, queen. Yeah.
Every house in Fire Island has one. Growing up, I mean, they're yes queen.
Yeah.
That's where all the tea is spilled. That's where people getting loose. That's where people take different forms. So you could get into
people are taking risks in a hot tub.
In a hot tub, you are taking risks. You could be a yeehaw. You could be like a true yeehaw son, and you could get into a hot tub, and you would become a yes queen. Like anything. I think anything is possible in a hot tub, and that makes it very yes queen.
I completely agree.
Wow. We really went a lot of places in this episode.
We sure did.
I short circuited for half of it, I think. Probably a little trauma coming in, a little delusion. I also think
that's just part of the holidays. We're overwhelmed, overworked.
As they say.
Just.
Yeah, in Christmas Vacation. It's the holidays. We're all in misery. And then she smashes or like snaps the head of lettuce in half with her knife and she's smoking a cigarette. That's literally us. But,
I think that is us.
Live, laugh, love the holidays. So I'm glad we got to talk about this.
I am too.
And now it's time that we send them away.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Y'all come back now, you queer.